Hey everyone, this is Gail with TradersHelpDesk, and I'm trying to show you the potential trades that I have right now um, on the British pound dollar and the British pound yen. There's a rate announcement at 7 a.m. and I have duplicated my live trades with the demo account to show you and explain to you. What I have done is a binary to the long side on both of these, but then I also did a short spread on both. Now, the reason that I did the short was just in case I lose on the binary side, then I have the short side that could potentially minimize the loss. Now, I could also lose on both sides of this trade. In other words, I've got two long positions, two short positions, and it could be that the rate announcement does not cause any movement. If it doesn't cause any movement, then you're going to lose on both sides of the market, which is why it's so important for your risk to be low. Now, in this case, you can see that the risk on this, on the British pound yen spread, I sold the ceiling number on the right. So it's about $25 a risk. Let's see if I can write this morning. Then on the British pound dollar, I have about $20 of risk per contract. Okay, so on the binary side, I got $17 on each side. So basically, you're risking about $100 if this really moves. Then you could potentially, at least make maybe 150. If the spreads work out, you could potentially make more. Okay, and that's what you're looking for. And again, it could be that all four of these lose, in which case you've lost about $100. Now, on the British pound yen, that does not expire until 11 a.m., so that won't have as much time decay effect in it as what the British pound dollar has. Now, this is a 1 minute chart because I was trading some 5-minute binaries earlier this morning on the euro. So I haven't changed the time frame on these. I could care less about them. I'm actually using my multi-charts to actually see what it does. Now, this one really only has about 30 pips to move for the binary to work. This one would have just about 25 pips to move. So really not real far out. And it could move in my direction on the British pound yen as long as by 11 o'clock this morning you're at 146.001. It's that third digit that matters with binaries. Then you could potentially make a profit. Now remember, we also have the euro rate announcement this morning, and we have had a pretty substantial spike on the euro. It went from a low of 16.17 up to a high of 16.31. It's in the middle of a retracement now. Also, the USD JPY moved up. So did the Aussie. Very substantial move up on the Aussie. I mean, that was almost 15 pip move on the Aussie. That's pretty extreme. Tell you what, while we're waiting on these, I want to show the 5-minute binaries I did this morning. Now this was one, and I waited for this bar to develop, and the risk on this one was $35.50. It did expire in the money. This was just a few seconds before expiration, maybe 40 seconds. It did expire in the money, so on this one, I realized the full profit potential on it. Now the other one that I did, let me get to it. Okay, this is the other one that I did. And you can see on this one, I was risking $37.50 on this binary option. Now the thing about it is I waited on this for, I would say 45 minutes before I entered. Actually entered as this bar was forming. I did come out of this one because I was afraid with this wide bar, and this is what I call a wide bar, that it may come back down. The wide bars do tend to retrace. There was about 1 minute and 30 seconds left, so I did not want to stay in that particular binary option, so I went ahead and exited. Now again, I did wait on this for quite a bit of time, and let me show you why. Okay, this is my 1 minute chart, and this is the 5-minute stochastics. And you can see earlier this morning through all of this period right here, we were not moving, not even a full pip. Okay, so here I waited for it to test the double ATRs, and I expected it to pop up, and it did. And then here it came back and tested the blue ATR, and again I thought it would pop up from that, and that was the bar I took profit on. But see, this is what you really have to watch when you're trading the 5-minute binaries, is you want bars that are moving more than 1 pip. In fact, you really kind of want to see, trend direction, or be able to see the trend direction. In this case, I was just using the stochastics. The stochastics on the 5-minute chart, remember this is from the 5-minute, was saying that the market was going to go up. So I just tried to take advantage of that, and was actually able to pull a profit. Now, if you're just looking at the Nadex chart, you can actually see the same concept. You can see these bars, they're not even moving a full strike. And that's when you don't want to trade it, okay? If you're just getting spike bars that every once in a while it'll move 1 strike, you do not want to trade that market. Your percentages for that market will go low. So that's the reason I don't want to do that. And as you can see, on this one, there's only about 50 minutes left. And really, this is not going very far at all from the British pound announcement. So, and that's fine. I knew what my risk was when I entered. So if I didn't make money, I knew what my risk was. And that's one of the reasons I do trade the binaries, because you never know. Is it going to move 80 pips on this announcement, or is it going to not move? If you're risking a total of $100, and really you have the potential to make about $150, because you got 2 contracts, 2 different trades, okay? You've got a long on the British pound yen, you've got a long on the British pound dollar. So, if you're making $75 on each binary, that would be about $150 combined, okay? Now, it doesn't mean that it will do it. It could be that the British pound yen actually makes the money, and the British pound dollar loses. In that case, you made 75, you probably lost 20, 40, 60, so you're only coming out with 15. Then again, you could have a spike up and make money on both of the binaries, in which case you've got 150, but you lost 50 on the spreads, okay, well, you still come out with 100. There's all different kinds of ways that this can actually work out in your favor. Now, on the British pound dollar, you still have about 48 minutes for this to work. Could the British pound actually move up to 82? Sure. The British pound is one that moves a lot. Could it move down below your entry price at 31? And that could happen just as easily. Okay. The British pound is one that moves a lot. A 20 pip move on the British pound wouldn't be a huge feat. Being able to limit your risk during these high volatility reports is one of the things that really attracted me to the binary options. In the spreads, I use a combination of them. You could even come in and do another binary here at 68 if you wanted to. I tend to just let my trades ride in this case. Traders are still deciphering, is what I like to call it. Whether, you have what I call your gut reaction, which is like this down bar, okay? But then you'll also have another reaction, which is sort of like the resumption of the move that was occurring prior to the rate announcement. For me, the most important thing is being able to keep that risk low. And that's what makes a difference. In the case of these, I think I've got less than $50 of risk on both the long and the short combined. What if you can't find a risk less than, $50, then don't trade it. Sometimes I'll combine the binaries together. Sometimes I'll use a binary and spread. It's really about shopping for the best deal. On the short British pound yen, it's going to have to move down to 145.27 on the spread. And that puts me at break even on the spread. On the British pound dollar, it has to move down to 1.3031. That would have me at break even on the spread. On the binary, it has to move up to 3082, which is right now just over a 30 pip move. It has to do it within the next 44 minutes. On the British pound side, it needs to move up to 146 by 11 a.m. So that would be 146.001. You have to use that third digit, okay? If anything can do it, the British pound could potentially do that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm not going to stick around because, this is 3 hours and 44 minutes. But you can actually mark these values on your chart to see where they close if you want to monitor the trade yourself.